Hey gamers, it's Ed Park aka Taugrim. This is my Matilda, a British tier 4 medium tank. It plays like a heavy. You can see I've gotten my crew all the way up to 100% for their training level, and my commander has the Jack of all trades ability, so he can fill in for guys such as Farq Harson and Bond in case one of these other guys, or Mole, in case one of them gets hit. All three of the other crew members are taking the repair skill, so I can get my Matilda up and running. You can see I take both the gun jammer and the gun laying drive, so I get the 10% faster loading time and 10% faster aiming time. You'll see why those things synergize really well with the Matilda. Matilda has a few downsides. You can see the top speed is around 24 kilometers an hour. It's very slow. And the other downside is the damage per shot with the best gun is pretty low. However, Matilda is very tanky. It has 70 to 75 armor everywhere except for the back, where the armor is still a pretty decent 50. And so you can bounce a lot of shots by angling. It's really important, just like I talked about in my angling guide video. And about the gun, while the damage is around 55 per hit, it has a penetration of 121, so excellent penetration, and it has very high accuracy, aiming time, and rate of fire. So it's a gun that I really love for those reasons. You can see as I'm moving down the road here, I'm angling back and forth, so I'm always trying to angle my tank in case someone spots me before I see them and opens up. So here's my first opponent, and I go ahead and hit him once. He starts to angle toward me, but he wisely, after eating 3 shots, goes behind the building. So you can see pretty steady damage, no derp gun type of action. This other target here, this poor guy, is a tier 2 tank, and he's in here with tier 3 through 5 because he was grouped up with a tier 3. So when you platoon with other players, you end up being treated as the highest tier player in your platoon, so you want to be very careful about this. And then this guy comes back out here, and look how fast that rate of fire is. So I go ahead and pick him off before he can take his leg back out behind the corner. And the enemies are capping the flag. They're going to be 2 players here, and as it turns out, they're going to be, I'm trying to position myself here to make sure I can angle shots, since right now it's just me. And then upon zooming in, I can tell they're actually hiding behind a building. So there's a very limited amount of space that I have to try to hit these guys, so he goes back behind the building. I bounced off the top of this turret, and then this medium tank is beating up one of my friendly light tanks. He's about to burn him down, so trying to lay down some supporting fire. So a couple shots there don't penetrate. That one does. In this tier, against tier 4s or tier 5s, most of the shots will penetrate. Some tanks, like the AT-2 tank destroyer and the KV-1s, because they have thicker armor, it can be hard to penetrate. But generally speaking, this gun holds its own very well, even against tier 6s. So these guys are sitting behind the building. Their base capture is at 37, and I'm still kind of worried about this guy in our flank. So another medium tank moves forward to go ahead and hit them to prevent them from capping the flag. They're still a ways from actually capping it, so I'm not too concerned. If I'm really concerned, I just drive across the field, take an angle on them, and then force them to come out, because the flag would stop capping. So I finish off one guy there who was at very low health, and then because of this really high rate of fire, I'm hitting this guy as he's trying to move around. This is pretty funny. So there's a gate in between us. He actually blows the gate and then finish him off there. So this other player, I was anticipating he was going to come around and flank us. There's also a dead friendly Artie. I don't know what that Artie was thinking. You should never come out into line of sight of opponents. You should always be covered by tanks. So he hits my track there. I get one shot off, and then he goes ahead and pulls behind. Now he does a smart thing here. He's going to try to play the hull down game, so he's only exposing his turret. I go ahead and angle myself. You can see him slightly angled to the right. So he hits me there for about 130 damage. But I'm aiming at the top of his turret now because this gun is so accurate. I have a very good crew. I hit him 4 times, so I actually damage him more than he damages me, and a couple of his shots I think bounced off of my turret. And that's the benefit of playing Matilda. It's a very beefy tank. It really does feel like a heavy tank instead of a medium tank for tier 4. Like I said, if you can get past the sluggishness, the speed, it's a great tank to play. About the speed, because it's limited, you have to have a pretty good idea of where you're going to go. Like in this match, I decided I was going to go fight near the flag so I could help cap it or defend it as needed. And I'm looking for the KV-1 tier 5 heavy tank and the Stug, which is a tier 5 tank destroyer. So I find the KV-1, and I'm angled here. I switch over really quickly to Stugs at low health, and then I take my time there for the second shot and then finish off the Stug. He actually hits really hard. And then against this KV-1, I am moving gradually backwards. I'm zigzagging a little bit sideways to try to force this guy to adjust his gun. Whenever you adjust your gun, you lose some accuracy. Now, the only problem for me is I probably should have either done one of two things. Kept moving backwards in straight line, and I should be aiming down a little lower. On the KV-1, if he's got the upgraded turret, the turret armor is 110, and so sometimes, even with a penetration of 121, you can see there's some of my shots ricocheted or were absorbed by the armor. So I should have been aiming a little bit lower, and I think that last point, right before he ran into me, I actually straightened out. But, when you do that, then I lose the benefit of the angling to try to deflect some of his shots. So this is one of my favorite tanks so far. I have several Tier 4 tanks and a couple Tier 5s that I've been playing. I really enjoy this one. And you notice that even though it's not a derp gun, I still laid down almost 1,400 damage in the match, which was tops overall. And then I took almost 1,200 damage through proper angling and because the Matilda is inherently beefy. So very fun tank to play. If you're looking for more of a tanky tank around Tier 4, this is the ticket. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your questions and feedback. Take care.